The second one, you've set the rules already. So remember, in module 1, we did set the norms of the yourself and to the team. I think it was module 2, discover your team. So you had to go in and you had to set, what are our norms? How are we going to move forward? What does our team look like? What are we, all those sorts of things. How are we going to, communicate and talk with each other? All that sort of stuff. Really, really important to make sure that you keep that going. So you've set the rules. So make sure you revisit these and address them, especially when we've got conflict coming down. In 3 weeks' time, there's going to be an announcement that conflict's going to happen. You want to re-establish these norms. We're going to respect each other. We're going to talk things out. We're going to have open communication. Whatever you've decided on, make sure they're reiterated and re-established. And the other thing is, the third one is ABCs when you disagree. So what do I mean by that? ABC stands for agree, build, and compare. So when you disagree, so this is mainly in a one-on-one situation, or maybe you are being a mediator or something for another two. So when people are arguing or having some sort of conflict, generally they agree on probably about 90% of what they're talking about. And the bit that they're fighting over is the 5 or 10% that, that they don't agree on. So the ABCs is pull out the stuff that they agree on. So yes, state what you agree on. Oh, we both agree that this process is coming down the line. We all agree that we need to make some changes to allow this process to happen. We all agree that this process is ultimately going to put us in a better position. So you're going to start off the conversation with the things that you agree. So it diminishes what they're arguing about to the 10% or 5% that it actually is. So A is re-establish what you agree on. B is build. So once you've taken all those things, we agree on this, we agree on that, we agree on everything else, and to build on that, we've probably got 2 weeks on which we need to now be flexible in what we're going to do in the workplace. So you're going to build on it. Okay, so if there was any gaps in anybody else's suggestions, you're just going to build on that. And then the C is compare. So if somebody comes to you with a polar opposite opinion than you have, just compare. So you don't have to tell them they're stupid or whatever it may be. This will be the situation where you'll go, okay, so that's an interesting view. I've got a different view on that. My view is this because of those reasons. So you're comparing. Okay, so you agree on all the things that you agree on. You're going to build on those. And if they come back with and say, no, I don't think that process should happen because of A, B, and C, you can come back with, well, that's an interesting view. My thoughts are it does need to happen for us to get to this stage here. So you're comparing. So all of a sudden you're having a constructive conversation about, about whatever's going on. So that's if you're having conflict with one-on-one, or it might not even be somebody on your team. It might be a contractor, or it might be somebody external from your team. Okay, so just remember the ABCs when you disagree, and it might help you talk through that conversation. So know when there's conflict, you've set the rules with the group norms. The ABCs when you disagree, don't procrastinate. So don't put anything off. So if you've got conflict on your team, don't stick your head in the sand, because we often do. It's confrontational. It's scary. You're going to have an emotional response, whether that's a bit of fear, or a bit of scared, a nervousness. You don't want to upset anybody. You don't want to end up being somebody's, enemy or whatever it may be. You don't want them to hate you. But you have to deal with it now as the leader. That's part of your role. So it will fester and it will manifest into something really, really bad if you don't. Believe you me, these things never, never, never go away. So if you're in a team meeting and some confrontation is happening, then we can say, look, you know what, let's go and have a bit of a break for 5 minutes. Let's go grab a coffee, have a walk around the building, have a walk outside, sit under a tree, do whatever. We'll reconvene in, say, 10 minutes time, and we'll continue this discussion, but it'll have to be a more constructive one. So let's gather our thoughts. So you're giving them that break away to be able to gather their thoughts, but it's not being put off. Another one, especially if it's some people in your team that are having a conflict, if you're if you're mediating or you've got them in the office and they're both having a bit of a argy-bargy about, well, he said, she said, he said, they, whatever. The one thing that you can't do at this stage is take sides. Even if in your head you're going, oh, I kind of agree with Sally in this one because, Johnny can be like that anyway. So you can't take sides at this stage. This is all about both of them having a voice and being able to be heard, and then, taking action after that. So no sides to be taken. You are an impartial listener at this stage. This is not an area for you to go, but Johnny, you're always like that, so I agree with Sally. We don't do that, okay? What you want to aim for is trying to come to a compromise. You want to try and get to some sort of deal or favourable option moving forward. And you can frame that up by saying, okay, what we're going to do is going to have a look at different options that we can do going forward. I want you to be able to agree with 80% of one of these, because we're never going to agree 100% with one of these. Okay, so if you can sit well with 80% on one of these options, then let's find out what that is. So option 1, we can do this. Option 2, alternatively, we can do this. Option 3, we can do this. Which one of those are you about 80% happy with? Because that sort of then allows them to go, well, it niggles me a little bit, but I guess I can live with it, So try and go for the compromise. And the last one is try not to turn all your people into robots. Try not to change them. If someone's a little bit outspoken, yes, we can have a chat to them about, the more appropriateness in the situation of when they're outspoken, but also embrace their diversity and their out of the box thinking and, the innovation it creates as well. Because you want a diverse team. You don't want everybody to be like you in your team. You want people to challenge you. You might be really good at making decisions and being very active in moving forward. You might have reflectors on your team that stop and make you think and go, well, hang on, we should plan that better, or we should put some more detail into that. And then all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, okay, yeah, that might be a good idea. So diversity is a great thing. It also brings sometimes confrontation that you need to deal with in a really constructive way. So I hope that helps. Know when there's conflict, you set the rules and set the norms. The ABCs when they disagree. Don't procrastinate. Do it now. Do it when you can, as soon as possible. Don't take sides immediately. Make sure both sides have been heard. Try to compromise if you can, and then don't try and change them into all a bunch of robots. Okay, you're going to have, if you've got diversity on your team, you're going to have really rich, multiple pathways to solutions, and that's what you want. Anyway, so I hope that helped. So if there's conflict on your team, follow those couple of things. If it gets to the point where there's argy-bargy or physical sort of altercation, that's out of our hands as leaders. That's when we go to our HR department and we call them in and we get help. Okay. Also, if you're really, really struggling, go to your co-workers who might have dealt with confrontation in the past. Say, hey, what worked for you and what didn't? And hopefully they'll be able to give you some tips and hints as well. So if there's any sort of issues that you might have, if there's any concerns, if there's any burning platforms, let me know on ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. I'll slam a video together like this and hopefully give you some multiple solutions that you can work with and get the results that you're looking for. But until then, we're out for today. Next session is going to be really, really good. So make sure you tune in next week, because it's all about what people hate about being a leader, and I've heard this on a number of occasions. So we're going to cover those things. What I hate about being a leader. Okay, so some of those might resonate with you. Okay, so enjoy your day. Have a fantastic time and a fantastic weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.